The derby is done, Madrid won, Vinicius scored twice, and somehow the fan base is simultaneously the happiest and the most furious it's been all season. That is Madridismo, Tio. That is exactly what it is.
The Valverde red card controversy is still absolutely everywhere. 3 days later, and it has not cooled down 1 degree. Fans are not letting this go.
One fan put it perfectly, they said, and I'm translating here, that Valverde challenge is a yellow card, nothing more. Corrupt anti-Madrid referees, journalists, the whole lot of them. Hala Madrid. That is the mood out there.
And it's not just raw emotion. Some fans are actually going forensic on this. One comment pointed out that in the CTA video explaining the Valverde red, they literally say a contested loose ball at the start, and then conclude there was no real possibility of playing the ball. Fans are calling that a direct contradiction.
That is a sharp observation, and it's the kind of thing that fuels this whole debate, because if you admit it was a contested ball, how do you then say there was no chance of playing it? Fans feel like the explanation doesn't hold together.
Look, I'm not here to relitigate every frame of the Valverde challenge, but I will say this. The fact that fans are doing this level of frame-by-frame analysis tells you everything about how deep the mistrust runs right now.
And then you've got the La Liga corruption discourse running in parallel. One fan said, quote, "We've spent years where they decide who wins the league before it even starts. The fact that Madrid haven't won back-to-back since the Tamudazo can't be a coincidence." Madre mia, the Tamudazo reference, that wound never fully heals.
There's a counter voice in the comments too, though. Someone hit back saying, quote, "They're the team that gets the most penalties in this league and they're still claiming they're being hurt by referees." That got some laughs, but also some very heated replies.
That is the eternal Madrid debate. Are we paranoid or are we right to be paranoid? And the answer, at least according to most of the fan base this week, is both somehow at the same time.
One fan also went after Ruben Maria specifically, said he refuses to condemn the racist acts at his stadium. That's clearly tied to the Vinicius discourse we've been covering all week, and it shows the referee anger and the racism debate are completely intertwined for a lot of fans right now.
And Vinicius, Tio. Vinicius scored twice in a match where he'd never scored in La Liga against Atlético before. The revenge arc is complete, the stats are broken, and yet some fans are still trying to find a way to criticize him. The internet is wild.
There's also a Bellingham update that's quietly flying under the radar with all the derby noise. He's posted footage of his shoulder surgery. Fans are processing it somewhere between "get well soon, King," and "please come back soon because we need you."
Venga. Let's get into the numbers then, because I think the stats from this derby tell a story that even the most emotionally exhausted Madrid fan needs to hear right now. Maria, what are we looking at?
Let's start with Vinicius on the season, because this is where it gets genuinely staggering. 28 games, 11 goals, but his XG is 12.2. He is almost perfectly on his expected output. He is not a fluke. He is not overperforming. He is exactly as good as the numbers say he should be.
11 goals from 12 expected goals. That is a striker's return from a wide forward, and it's why the Vinicius is wasteful narrative drives me absolutely crazy. The data does not support it.
Now compare that to Mbappe, 23 goals from 21.6 XG in just 24 games. He is actually outperforming his expected goals by nearly 1.5. He is clinical, Rafa. Whatever the eye test says about his invisible games, the numbers say he is finishing at an elite level.
23 goals in 24 league games. That XG gap is actually incredible to me, because it means he's creating chances and converting them at a rate above what you'd expect. This is the Mbappe that was sold to us, finally showing up consistently.
And then there's Bellingham. And this is the number that hurts. 19 games, 4 goals, 6.2 XG. He is massively underperforming his expected output. Over the last 5 matches before his injury, he was getting into the right positions constantly, but the finishing just wasn't there. That 6.2 XG, with only 4 goals, is the story of his season.
6.2 expected goals, 4 actual. That is more than 2 goals left on the table, and for a player of Bellingham's quality, that difference could be the margin between winning and not winning La Liga. That number genuinely stings.
Now let's talk Valverde, because fans are raging about the red card, but the stats show why losing him hurts so much beyond just the derby. 28 games, 4 goals, 7 assists, 23 15 minutes. His XA, expected assists, is 4.5. He is actually overperforming his assist numbers, which means he's not just being creative, he's being precise.
7 assists against an XA of 4.5. So he's creating chances and converting them into actual goals more often than expected. That is a player who makes the team better in ways that are hard to see unless you look at the numbers. Losing him to a suspension is not just emotional pain, it is a measurable tactical problem.
And if you zoom out to the derby itself, Madrid had 2 goals, clean sheet, away fans going absolutely wild. But the Valverde red changed the entire final phase of that match. Whatever the XG looked like before the red card, the defensive pressure Madrid had to absorb after going down to 10 men is a completely different game.
Which is why Arda Güler's role in all of this deserves more attention. 29 games, 4 goals, but 8 assists, and his XA is 8.1. He is almost perfectly on his creative output. He is not lucky, he is not unlucky. He is just consistently, quietly excellent.
The Arda number that I keep coming back to is the minutes, 1901 minutes in 29 games. He is not getting full games consistently, and yet his assist numbers are second only to Valverde in this squad. Imagine what those numbers look like with another 30 minutes per game.
That is the argument fans should be making instead of the referee one. Not the league is rigged, but give Arda Güler more minutes and watch what happens. That's the hot take I want to see in the comments.
There is also a fascinating Rodri story floating around. He has apparently not closed the door on a move to Madrid, saying his time at Atlético doesn't prevent it. Fans are reacting to this with a mix of excitement and deep suspicion, given the timing.
The timing of that quote, right after a derby where Madrid won and Valverde got a red card and everyone is screaming about midfield cover, is either brilliant or completely accidental. Either way, the fan base is very interested. ¡Qué barbaridad!
Look, the derby is won, the stats back up what we saw on the pitch, and even through all the referee fury and the Valverde ban anxiety, this Madrid side is genuinely building something. The numbers don't lie.
Vamos Madrid. Derby won, Vinny's revenge arc complete, and the data analysis has me feeling better about this squad than I have all season. We'll be back tomorrow morning with whatever the internet has cooked up overnight, and knowing this fan base, it will be something. Hala Madrid.